Hello again, world. My name is Coach, and I want to welcome you to the Essential Review, the podcast where we dive deep into the movies and shakers of the comic book industry. Today, we're continuing our special guest series spotlighting the special creators who will be attending the City of Oaks Comic Book Odyssey happening February 20th through the 22nd, 2026 in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. Our next guest is Dr. Solo Gayleson, the owner and creative force behind Ka-Pow Comic Art Academy. Solo is passionate about developing the next generation of comic book creators through hands-on instruction, mentorship, and a deep respect for the fundamentals of visual storytelling. Through Ka-Pow, he's building a creative community where artists learn not only how to draw comics, but how to think like storytellers and grow as professionals. We're very excited to have Solo today with us on the Central Review. How are you doing, Solo?
Oh man, I'm blessed. Cannot complain.
No,
Cannot
good, good,
complain.
good, good. As you know, we're right around the corner from the COCO,
I know,
and
right?
it's pretty exciting, you know.
It's very exciting, man.
Um,
Congratulations. This is epic, man. This is
well,
epic.
it, it, it's um, it's something that it's a culmination of a lot of things. So, but you being a part of it is something that is an essential part of the cocoa, and we'll dive into that a little bit in a few. But the first question I ask, so people get to know who you are. How
Mhm.
did you get into comic books, and what gave you the experience to start Kapow?
Well, I'm like I didn't get into comic books until late. Growing up in the hood on the south side of Chicago, like most inner city young black men, we didn't have access to comics per se. They weren't at our convenience stores, in our newsstands in the hood.
Right.
So for us, it was cartoons on television and Saturday
Yeah.
mornings.
Yeah.
That was our gateway. And fast forward, I always drew. I was always a little bit that kid was always the best artist in the class,
Right.
right? Because I was drawing all the time. My grandmother used to steal, God rest her soul, reams of printer paper. Remember the old ditto paper?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was in
Yeah.
school, the
Yeah.
printer paper. She used to steal reams and bring it home to me. And it was like Christmas, man. And I used to just go through them. And fast forward, man, I actually got into animation
Okay.
because obviously that was the natural path for me because that's what I was exposed to. And
Right.
so I was fortunate enough to get an internship at an animation studio in the south suburbs of Chicago, where the gentleman who actually ran the studio went to high school with my mom and used to remember me drawing all the time.
Very nice.
We
Very
had
nice.
their teen club get-togethers in high school,
Right.
and so I got to apprentice there and intern there, and that's where I met my mentor, who was a comic book veteran for both Marvel and DC. And he
Okay.
liked my hustle, he liked my grind and my talent. And we were working on episodes such as like stuff from Batman animated series, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, all that kind of stuff from the
Right.
90s.
Right. Okay.
And it was through him that I really saw how the sausage was made in comics,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and he kind of exposed me there. And man, that's when I started taking it seriously as a viable media option to get my ideas out into the world because animation's expensive.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's what started. And from there, man, I got into law enforcement, but I stayed tethered to the industry. My first breakthrough was at 25, where I got offered by DC Comics to work on Superman.
Oh, very cool.
But by then,
Okay.
I had a full career because I had children,
Right.
early,
Yeah.
and I was
Yeah.
had a full career, and that's when I knew I was good enough because I started getting more offers, and I was getting critiques.
Right.
And
Right.
once the offers started coming in, I started my own studio, released one issue of one book that I didn't had no expectations of, and it blew up.
Very
You know,
nice. Very nice. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
blew up
Yeah.
on the scene, and
Yeah.
fast forward after retiring from law enforcement and staying connected with the comics industry, I was always that guy that everybody knew was wondering what I
Right.
was going to do,
Right. Right.
And when I retired from law enforcement, I restarted my studio again, and I started teaching at
Very nice.
a reputable comic art school
Okay.
that a lot of artists from Italy that work at Marvel DC had attended. They had a Chicago campus, and I
Very
became
nice.
an instructor there. And from there, I just opened Ka-Pow, because I thought I could do it better.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, when you talk about a comic book school,
Hmm.
you look at the Cubert School,
Hmm.
you look at Eisner.
Right.
Okay, what makes Ka-Pow different from those art programs? Because I know a lot of colleges now
Hmm.
have their own programs on campus. I know the
Right.
Michigan State
Hmm.
has a real big program there.
They
So
do.
what makes Ka-Pow different?
Number one, affordability. Okay. Number one,
It's big.
affordability. Yeah, that's the big one, especially in
Yeah.
today's climate, right? I
Right.
would say number one is what makes us different is there's a huge gap. We're small, and during when I was a cop trying, and this is how Ka-Pow was built. It was built on my own personal experiences. And
Mhm.
when I was a cop, even though I was doing freelance work here and there, it's most artists, we want to get better, right? And I started exploring those college programs and even Qbert and all those other things. And they were way out of budget. They
Mhm.
didn't fit my lifestyle because remember, married, four kids, the whole nine yards, right? A job. And it's like, what can I learn in between time? And I found nothing that could check all the boxes. It was either too big of a time investment or a financial investment.
Right.
And we know with what we do, you don't need formal education to do it. It's more like a trade,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's a craft, it's a skill. And so when I retired from law enforcement, nothing like that existed. I studied Qbert, I studied SCAD, Cal Arts,
Hmm.
any place that had a program, and I intentionally built Ka-Pow to accommodate what they did not provide that I knew was essential without all the
Okay.
fluff,
Right.
right? More of a mentorship capacity. We're small and intentionally so, and all my teachers are current relevant industry artists. Now they're not your A-listers. These are guys that you probably never heard of, but when you see their work, you're like, why haven't I heard of you? And
Right.
we know that's like any other industry. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't
Yeah.
know that doesn't mean he's not competent,
Right.
and these guys are competent, accessible pros that have worked on big titles themselves. And
Okay.
so I trimmed away all the fat, that a lot of these other schools provide to kind of fluff up their program to justify their cost. And I distilled it down to the essentials and from the comfort of your home. So they can't touch us. And
Yeah.
they're starting to hear about us from what I heard. We've been
Well,
nicknamed
very good.
Ruggles.
Very good.
So yeah.
Now, I want to step away from the question
Mhm.
because um, a lot of our viewers right now could probably sense the
Mhm.
energy that you bring,
Uh-huh.
and I want everyone to know that I've asked Solo to kind of hold down the energy a
Yeah.
little bit for this, but we do have a podcast from the Central Review that we did earlier that you can check out because then you can see the real Solo when he
That's
released.
it.
So don't
That's
think
it.
that, this is, even though it's a lot of energy, he's got a lot more to come.
That's
Um,
right.
when you and you've had success
Mhm.
with those that you've worked with, those students you've had.
Mhm.
When you come to the COCO,
Mhm.
one of the biggest things that we're asking you to do is open your heart up and your school, which is available online classes from
Mhm.
my online participation,
Mhm.
to prospective artists
Yes.
who I'm asking and I'm recommending that they bring their art portfolios to
Yes.
the COCO to share with you and those at your table. Um, what do you look for? What is the thing that captures you that says, you know, this is definitely someone that I think because as a coach, and I still coach,
Hmm.
when I'm
Yep.
working with players,
Hmm.
I'm looking for something that says, "Oh yeah, definitely, I can bring that
Right.
out."
Right.
And I'm hungry to work with this person. What are you looking for?
Well, I mean, it's not a leap from what you do.
Right,
Coach is just a synonym for teacher.
right,
And I also coach basketball and played at a high level. And
right,
so we bring all that to bear. That's part of it. I'm looking for your heart, right?
right,
That's the intangible. We can basketball, right? We can teach you how to shoot, we can teach you how to dribble, but we can't
right,
teach you his heart, right?
right. Yeah,
Right? And
right.
so I'm looking
Heart
to
and
see where your
size.
heart. Heart, there you go, heart and
Yeah, yeah,
size, right?
yeah.
Talent, believe it or not, is the thing that I look for the least because I found that many times, the most talented are the ones that are least passionate because it comes so easy for them,
Right,
right? And believe it or not, that was me. That was really me when it came to drawing. I took it very passively because it came easy to me. And so, first of all, we're looking for heart. Uh, Second, we want to see if you have something you really want to say and how you feel about that. The drawing ability, yes, I'm going to critique that. I'm going to give you the best. Now, like I tell everyone, if you come in and you bring a portfolio to me, please expect I don't do brutal honesty. I do surgical honesty. All
mhm,
right. They're similar in that they both hurt,
right,
right? You may bleed a little bit,
mhm,
but unlike brutal honesty, surgical honesty is meant to heal and repair. And I'm
right,
going to give you something to take away to work on. That's how my mentors did me.
right,
Okay. They didn't leave me bleeding on the floor because there was a lot of growth that needed to happen. But when we're looking for students, I'm looking for those that are seriously committed to bringing their story to the world. If it's something that you do passively, I will let you know. We reject students. You have to apply for our school. I think that
right,
should be said, coach, right? We don't take people just because they can afford it. It's an interview process, and we'll do your interview right there if we think that you're a good fit for our culture, and if we can help you. But my biggest thing is heart. Most of our students that are here at Ka-Pow, I didn't see their portfolio until after they were accepted.
Very good. Okay,
After they were
okay.
accepted,
Right,
okay?
right,
Because we're going to teach you everything you need to know, whether you start from zero or you start from five. Okay,
right,
because I ain't met somebody above a five yet. I
right,
broke
right,
into DC at a five.
right,
So,
right,
right, on a
right.
scale of 1 to 10, you break in at a five. Right.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I haven't met any fives. But if you're a zero, one, two, three, we're going to equip you. So don't come trying to wow me with, something you think I haven't seen before. Good luck with that.
right.
Right. But come open, ready to learn, ready to take notes. And if I think you're fit, we'll go through the process right there on the spot.
Now, especially on Friday. Friday is the educational centered
Mhm.
day. Yes,
Mhm.
we have our first responders, we'll have our military coming in
What?
that day. But we're opening the door for our school systems,
Okay.
our students to come in at a special rate. And me
Mhm.
being a school teacher, that part was very important to me.
Absolutely.
What what advice would you give parents considering bringing their child in that day, elementary, middle school, high school, whichever,
Mhm.
and bringing a comic book, not only portfolio, but
Mhm.
desiring to enter that realm of comic art education?
Would I recommend the parents to advise
Yes,
their children?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
to number one, have their kids bring physical art. You
right,
know, a lot of parents will pull stuff on their phones for their children,
right,
for us to look at, and that I really can't properly gauge because I don't have proper scale on a phone, right? To
hmm
let me really assess your child's aptitude to scale. So,
right,
one, bring their physical sketchbooks, whatever they want to show, bring it with them. All
right,
right. Number two, trust that whatever they may hear, here's what I tell everyone: I'm not nice, I'm kind.
right,
Okay. Nice is performative. Kindness
hmm
is a state of being, right? We say play nice. We say be kind,
right,
right?
right,
Okay.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I'm
yep,
always
yep, yep,
kind. But I'm going to give your children honest feedback that they can handle at their age that will
Right.
set them on the path. Because I believe that the earlier they get calibrated,
Right.
the easier their path is down the road.
Right.
Okay, because mom and dad always think that their kids art is the next best thing since popcorn, and
Right.
we're trying to prep them for to build the necessary muscles should that not be the case and how to get there.
Right.
And so mom and dad, if you're going to bring them, trust that everything they're going to give them is stuff I'd give my own children.
Very good.
Okay,
Very good.
and it may not be nice, but it's kind.
Oh, good. Oh, good. 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 Well, now, when you look at the comic book industry, which is the foundation of the COCO, okay,
Hmm. Hmm. Love that.
because the COCO honors and respects and dives into the origin of comic book fandom
Hmm.
because yeah, animation has exploded, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Especially when we come to anime
Hmm.
and manga and
Hmm.
all of that, but all of that originated with basic comic book art,
It all
right?
started with comics. Hmm.
So when you look at that transition and that explosion that has happened the past few years, and you've talked about it, you and I have had conversations about
Hmm.
how you've expanded your school
Hmm.
to connect with some of those other pieces. How do you relate the importance of the origin of comic book storytelling to your students so they can be successful in whichever direction they go within that illustration
Hmm.
storytelling industry?
Well, that's a great question. One of the things we tell our students is this. From being behind the scenes in video games, having worked in video games, worked in movies, I've done all the things, toys, I've done all the things. One thing you will find out is that comics is the genesis of all the skills necessary to get a job creatively almost anywhere. We are the special forces of the art community. Okay, because in comics, we have to be able to do everything. Unlike animation, which is a pipeline of skills. You have
Right.
one person may just do characters, another person may do backgrounds, another person just may be painting, right? Comics is much more concentrated in the skill sets in one person. And so when we look at anime and we look at the father of anime and manga, I forget his name. It escapes me at this moment. I'm tired. But he came to the States first and
Right.
then went back and created Astro Boy, which is the
Gotcha. Gotcha.
first manga, which
Right.
became the first anime, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he
Right.
came and he studied Western comic
Hmm.
strips and actually studied under Walt Disney, whatever you may think of him. But he
Right.
came and he studied under Walt Disney and he took those basic skills over to Japan. And
Hmm.
the reason, sidebar, why manga and anime is outpacing currently Western artists
Hmm.
is because they stuck to the core of it,
Right. Right.
where we kind of felt that we needed to mature and we needed to kind of
Right.
keep circulating these stories. They kept it relatively untouched,
Right.
in its from its origin, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So we like to teach people that what you do
Right.
from that, what comes from that moving forward is up to you. But we
Okay.
we take you to the core and to the foundation of it.
Okay. Now, um, as we, I try to give a fun question, and
Hmm.
this one I did not prepare you for, and I'm cheating a
Okay.
little bit. There is a series of comic books,
Hmm.
which we built the Central Review from,
Hmm.
which is Central Comics. And
Hmm.
I understand that one of the creators over at Essential Comics happens to be a good friend of yours.
Yes,
And
yes. Pretty good dude.
and he wants me to ask you
Uh-huh.
if there was a character out there that you would love to do an issue of, what would that character be?
From Essential or any character.
Well, since this is a central review. Nah, I'm saying any character, any
Any
character.
character? You know who I have a special affection for? Because I don't, this may be divisive, but you know me. Because they ain't
Hmm.
doing it right. They ain't doing it right. I have a strong affection for Milestone,
Okay. All
right?
right. Right.
It's one of the reasons why you see me, I always got the X hat, right, of some
Right.
color or iteration.
Right.
Uh, that was Static's original hat,
Right.
costume. It's
Right.
also,
Gotcha.
not an X.
Gotcha.
But I have a special affinity for Milestone.
Okay.
And Milestone has dropped the ball profoundly in their second time at bat from
Right.
what
Yeah, that's been
Milestone got
some
me back.
challenges.
Milestone got me really into comics. You dig what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
It came at a time when I was in a dark place. I was kind of wandering, and I wandered into a comic book store, and I saw characters that looked like me.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, what is this? And this is down in
Right.
Kentucky. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so
Yeah.
if I could do anything, it would probably be either Icon and Rocket or Static.
Okay. All
And I'd
right.
like to really show these young boys, y'all don't know, y'all ain't.
Well, that's
And
interesting. That's
also, I was
interesting.
mentored by MD Bright.
Oh,
So
wow.
Mark
Yeah.
Bright, who drew Icon and Rocket, he was one
Right.
of my mentors in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I would send him work weekly, and we'd talk and go over the phone. Mentorship, people, learning from those who do it.
Right.
So my affection for Miles, it would have to be something Milestone. I don't really care about the big two like that. It would be
Right.
Milestone because of the resonance it
Milestone.
had with me personally.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good, very good. Well, just letting our listeners know, Solo will be doing multiple panels when it comes to creation. His table will have and give the opportunity for those that are interested in getting into a school like Ka-Pow, the elements, the requirements, and the essentials to being successful. And he doesn't know it, but he also may be handling some cosplay announcements and MCing as well. But we want to say a huge thank you for Solo for joining us today and bringing a little bit of the reality of Kapow to the Coco. So please make sure to check him out there at the COCO, grab a photo with them, sign up for some classes, and definitely show them some love.
Well,
Um,
looking forward
Thanks
to
to
it.
all of you for listening and supporting this show. And until next time, stay creative, stay connected, and keep being heroic. And as always, continue to dare to dream. Take care.